Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Total Wellness at the J. It's really a pleasure to be here today with Sam Thomas. Sam, I'm going to let you introduce yourself in a moment, but we're really excited to have a conversation with you today, specifically around the Hoop Group and what you'll be doing here at the J, but also around the value in terms of wellness of youth sports and teamwork and self-esteem and all those good things. So we'll explore that together. But in the meantime, Sam, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience and tell us a little bit about you and what you've been doing and all of the good things about your time since you left the University of Arizona. And we may even talk a little bit about the remarkable teams that you had the ability to play for here.
Yeah, so my name is Sam Thomas. I played for the University of Arizona women's basketball team from 2017 to 2022, which seems not that far away, but to me, I'm like, I can't believe it's been that long already since I've been removed from the team. But no, it's been amazing. I loved my time there. I spent my high school time in Las Vegas, so I kind of wanted to be close but still far away from my parents, and so I felt like Tucson was the best choice. When I walked on campus, I fell in love. So spent 5 years there, got my COVID year, which I was very grateful for, and we were able to do a lot of things with that extra year. My first year we only won 6 games, but we turned it around and made it to the WNIT, and we made it to the national championship game, and we kind of made going to the NCAA tournament like a standard, which I was super proud of. But yep, after college, I went on to play with the Phoenix Mercury. So just did a quick little hour 45 drive up north, got to stay in the great state of Arizona and loved my time there. And of course, or I guess now it's a little bit more different, but usually you go play overseas. It's like a must after the WNBA season. So did that, played in Italy, came back and tried out for the team again, went on and off for hardship contracts until I decided it was time for me to retire. And now I'm living in Kansas City, the heart of America. And I work for a sports agency now. So still involved in sports, but just not playing.
Well, we are really grateful that during your time at the University of Arizona, we started working together to do this camp in the summertime, and we're now coming into the fourth annual Sam Thomas Hoop Group Camp that we'll be doing here on August the 10th, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But before we do, I do want to say that while your time at the University of Arizona is over, your legacy continues. The record book and the impact that you made on our community is laced with your name, and we're really grateful that you continue to try to remain tethered to Tucson and are a proud U of A women's basketball star who is continued to be looked upon that way.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Always love the fans. You have a special place in my heart. So does the city.
So, we've been doing this podcast. I've been thinking about wellness at the J. And when we think about wellness, we really like to take a holistic look at wellness beyond just diet and exercise or being physically active, but it's the mental aspect, it's the social aspect, and artistic and intellectual, and all the things that make us a whole person is what makes us well. And having had the opportunity to participate myself in youth sports, and I know you did as well, and then you elevated that to a new level. Why are youth sports so important?
I just think it's a great way to one for the kids to get a little bit level of physical activity, especially at that age, but also just to be able to create skills that you might not be taught in school, but sports will definitely teach it that will help pursue you in life in your adulthood life, such as like teamwork, perseverance. You learn how to succeed and also fail in sports, whether you want to play throughout high school or whether you're done playing in middle school, but sports can give you so many good traits and characteristics that you can just learn by being in that atmosphere.
And that's great. And the friendships you make and the ability to learn to both win and lose. We don't always win.
Yeah.
You talked about that first team you were on that won 6 games, but there were likely a lot of lessons in those losses that carried you forward and gave you and the team an opportunity to grow together.
Yes, definitely. I always tell everyone that first year might not have been the best year, but it was honestly one of my top 2, 3 maybe years that I've had at the U of A just from the memories and everything that I learned through that.
So, what is the hoop group and how did this come to be?
Yeah, so the hoop group is the camp that I like to call Sam Thomas Hoop Group to kind of give back to the community. I always want to come back to Tucson as much as I can. And I know life gets in the way. So, I can't come as much as I want to, but with the hoop group, I know that I can prioritize all my time and then choose that one date to really make an effort to come back. And it got started pretty much when NIL was becoming a thing. And I spoke to Jordan Emerson and he reached out to me and kind of mentioned about kind of using the Tucson JCC and what great opportunities you guys have and the great people. And obviously got to meet you as well. And so just being around great people, I figured it was the best, partnership, the best way that we could help build community in Tucson. And so, yeah, we just kind of took off 4 years ago. And now here we are today, and it's still thriving and going. The kids still want to show up. We have wonderful supporters that want to help us. So it's been truly an amazing thing to be a part of.
Well, it's a great thing to watch. Um, what would you say is the mission of your philosophy in helping kids find their way in basketball, and how do our two missions align with each other to come together to create this one day special experience?
Yeah, I think most important is just to have a welcoming community. I know sports can be scary, going to a new camp can be scary, whether that's, with basketball or just in life, being in a new scenario is scary. So just having that warm, welcoming environment, knowing that all kids are welcome and that we're just going to learn. You don't have to be the best. You could be the worst, but we're going to treat everybody the same and you're going to get something and learn something out of this experience. And I just think being able to learn and connect everyone. I always am big on having a loud gym, a talkative gym, cheering on your teammates. And I think that's important, obviously, on the court, but also off the court, whether you're in school, work, and really giving these kids their voices and letting them know that they're able to speak up.
That's great. So if I came for the day, if I could go back to being 12 years old, I signed up and came to the hoop group. What can I expect that day? What am I going to get? How am I going to? I'm not very good at basketball, uh, so how is this going to be relevant for me? And how's this going to help my own level of wellness and self esteem?
Well, you will definitely get better at basketball. I will tell you that. Whether it's just today, we'll be able to get those skills of just a tad bit, which we're very excited for. But also just creating, you're going to make new friends. You're going to get an awesome t shirt as well. And we're just going to be able to have a lot of fun and learn about not only the sport, but what it is to be a good teammate. And I just want everyone to feel like this is a place and this is where they belong. So we're going to have food, drinks, and snacks to keep everyone energized. We're going to break a sweat. So everyone's got to be prepared to that. But more importantly, we're going to have some competition and we're going to have a lot of fun. And no quietness is allowed.
That's all. Well, then I'm sure we'll bring the loud. The loud. Um, how does sports create an atmosphere of inclusion and belonging?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it doesn't only come from rooting from the same team. I think just sports is a great way to have everybody come together and you're cheering for, the main thing, but everything. You want everyone to be healthy, but also, you're rooting. And it's just nice to come in a space where it's judgment free. Everyone's focused on what's going on. It doesn't matter who's next to you, what they look like, what they do. We're all just coming together for one thing. And I think that's what's so special about sports in general.
I really want to encourage people to come on August 10th to the hoop group. I think that's going to be a lot of fun and super important. But the longevity of people then saying, I'm going to use this opportunity to find other opportunities to continue my sports journey. I think is really important because I think the discipline that sports provides for practice, for games, for working with people is so incredibly valuable. What would you point to as like the most important lesson that you got out of your time when you were playing?
Yeah, I would definitely say kind of tying it into one, it teaches you when you're successful, kind of how to act, how to go about it, how to keep yourself humble. because then also you have your failures, and you know that once you hit that failure point, you can't quit. You have to keep getting better. And so that's where that hard work comes in, where it teaches you, if you want to be good at something, if you want to succeed at something, if you want something to go your way, you can't just sit back and let the cards fold. You have to actually work at it, practice, and really like learn the steps and research and get mentors and everything, whatever it takes to really get to that next level of success.
Yeah, and having the discipline, I think, and willingness to practice. You can't just show up at the game and expect that between the last game and this game, something's going to change if you don't work at it a little bit. And seeing that progress in yourself builds self-esteem.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's a big thing too, is seeing that hard work pay off, knowing that, oh, wow, like what I'm doing when no one's watching, when it's not a real game, or when there's not a big meeting or anything, that it's actually the work is paying off and I can see it.
That's great. So there's some new things this year with the Hoop Group. We've got a new age group, or who are we welcoming in?
Yeah, so we did it about 2 years ago. We did high schoolers, but we did it in July. Everyone's on, family vacation doing their high school or travel ball. So we took a break from it, and this year we're bringing it back. I know a lot of the kids that were there when they were in the middle age group are now aged out of that group. So they're high schoolers, and they were like, what are we going to do now? So we're bringing it back, and we're welcoming those high schoolers back. So I'm super excited to get a chance to work with them.
And you're bringing in another coach this year.
Yes, back by popular demand, I'm bringing my former teammate and best friend, Dominique McBride, who was played with me for 3 years, my first 3 years there. So still friends to this day. I'm actually going to go visit her in a little bit here. So very excited to have her back. She just brings the energy. She's hilarious. And I know the kids will really love to work with her.
Well, we're excited to welcome you all back. Um, how did you decide on basketball? What I know your family, it's a family thing, but how did you decide that that was going to be your sport of choice? What else did you try?
Yes, it definitely helped with my dad being a coach. All my siblings played, so it was kind of a family thing. I did do, softball, soccer, volleyball growing up, and then I kind of narrowed it down to basketball and volleyball, and I did the two up until high school, and then I went to a volleyball camp for the high school that I was going to, and they told us we had to do 1,000 pepper passes, like the little volleyball passes against the wall, and I said, nope. I'd rather take 1,000 shots. So that's kind of when I knew it was going to be basketball. And then just seeing my sister play and progress to the next level in college, I knew that that was one thing that I wanted to do, is to continue it on to college basketball. So I had to put the work in.
That's great. Well, and I know, I mean, all of you played college ball, right?
Yes, yes. The last one, my youngest brother's still at Creighton, so he gets all the attention from the family now.
No, it's all on him, huh?
Yep, yep. We're
Uh, They've,
all watching them all the time.
they've got a nice program there.
Yes, they do. Hopefully, they'll never see Arizona, because I think I got to go with my Wildcats.
I agree with you on that. It's hard not to, but
Exactly, exactly.
so how do you sports promote wellness beyond what is physical? What role does it play, or have you seen it play in social or emotional wellness and being able to manage those different aspects of people's lives?
Yeah, I think sports is a great thing for mental health. I mean, it's a great stress reliever for one thing. You're out there, your mind is only focused on what the coach is giving to you. And a lot of the times it can be an escape for kids, whether they have a tough time in school or a tough family life, or they struggle with making friends. Sports is kind of that built in family, and everyone there is going to look out for you. So it's nice to kind of get away and separate yourself from everything that's going back over there, and just have that one team with y'all got the same jersey on.
I think that's so important, and we in our busy world today, especially where kids are, on devices and doing all the things that they do, playing games, playing, doing social media or whatever it is, that human connection that sports makes you have, right? Because we're going to be on the court, we're going to be on the field, we're going to be doing these things together, um, and we're going to put our phones away or put our iPads away, and just be people together is so important.
Exactly. It's such a crazy thing to think about. You can't have your phones, no TVs, nothing, but you don't even think about it when you're playing your sport because it's so fun and you're just getting that physical activity and all the fun things that come with playing a sport.
Well, and trying new things, right? Like, that ability to say, I'm even if I'm just on the basketball court and today I'll be the center and tomorrow maybe I'll go back to my natural position, which is guard. That ability to push yourself beyond your comfort zone, I think sports can enable that.
Yes, you definitely get used to change where it just becomes second nature and you have to just go with the flow and know that whatever's best for the team you're going to do. So if you got to be point guard one day, post player the next day, you just do it with no questions asked, which obviously translates to the real world too. When you have a boss or a coworker that wants you to do something or your teacher, you just naturally just do it without even thinking like, oh, let me talk back or let me give attitude. It's like, no, they told me to do something, so I'm going to go do it.
Well, that's it. I was going to ask you. So, how does the skills and lessons that you learned in youth sports transfer to adulthood today? So here you are. You're working within sports, but you're not playing anymore. But there's lessons that you carry with you in your suitcase. So how's that worked?
Yeah, I would say one of the big things, which seems the most simple, is just being on time for everything. As an athlete, you're not on time. You have to do the running, the conditioning, which is, just drills into your mind. All right, let me be early. So I think that's the first thing. And then just teamwork. I was lucky enough to be a captain all my 5 years at Arizona. So I got to be able to adapt how to learn and talk with different people. Some people like it if you're face to face with them. Other people need a little bit more space and then you can come to them. So just being able to work with a bunch of different athletes and people. Now in my real job, I know how to work with my coworkers who are of all different ages. I work with men and women, little kids. So just being able to relate and kind of adapt myself to how I need to act around some of my coworkers, and then discipline, obviously, when I'm asked to do a task, I'm doing it. Just like how in sports. So I would just say those are the main things that really help me translate, which some of those things you don't even learn in school. It just comes with sports or just going through life.
Well, and being a captain all 5 years, at some point you were captaining over people who were older and maybe had more experience. So how did you have the humility to give them the respect that they need, but also the wherewithal to say, and you're going to follow me?
Yes, I would definitely say that was one of the biggest challenges, especially my freshman year, just learning how to, govern all of that and how do I act. And I think one of the biggest things is we're all human beings, we're all people. It's hard to take criticism sometimes. We all like to, be told we're doing something well. So I think it just comes with you can't just critique someone and tell them what they're doing wrong and say, hey, you need to do this. You need to kind of be their friend first, or ask them how their day was, give them a compliment, really build that relationship up. So then if you do have to, ask them to do something or follow along, it's not like you're a drill sergeant. They know that it's coming from a caring place on your end.
And leading by example, I think is probably, having watched you and known you all these years, you do what you say and you lead in a very authentic way. And I think that makes it easier for people to follow when you're authentic and you are who you are on the court, in the locker room, and in the community. You always set that example, and you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm being true to myself. And I think people follow that.
Yeah. So thank you. I appreciate it. I definitely try and stick with what I say and everything that I preach to others. I want to be able to do myself. So that's also a big thing is leading by example for sure.
Well, it comes through. So let's talk a little bit about August 10th.
Uh,
What can I expect? I come here. Am I playing with kids my own age? What do I expect from my experience?
Yeah, so we have 3 different age groups. So whichever age group you come to, you will be playing with kids your age, your height, most likely your skill level. So you're coming to that, we're gonna have music playing as soon as you enter. You can check in, you're gonna get a shirt, and then you're free to shoot around until we get started. And then from there, we're just ready to have a bunch of fun. We're gonna work on some defense, some ball handling, shooting. Of course, we have to play our fun competitions because who doesn't love those? And then, of course, we'll end with some 5-on-5. And at the end, we'll do a little section of Q&A, kind of just so I could help give advice to any kids who do either want to pursue basketball or any sport at the next level to just get back to what I can.
Well, what I can say is I love that you start with defense. Uh, that's where you start. The points will come, but we got to stop them from scoring. So defense requires a whole other level of teamwork, and
Exactly.
accountability. Um, and I think that when I love that you put yourself out there, to be a role model and to answer questions, and in a really authentic way.
Yes, thank you. I just want to share as much wisdom as I can because I know when I was their age and people were telling me, you got to make 500 shots, I was like, yeah, right. Like, that's too much. But no, it really does matter. Like, you really have to work at your craft and get better, say please and thank you, be a good person because all of that will matter in the long run.
And I think that we learn that kids that are in sports, and go to practice and do the things that are required, athletically, also then understand the discipline that's required to do their homework, and to do their chores. And you begin to build a schedule for yourself that makes space for recreation, school, family obligation, and yourself. So I think that's really one of the many remarkable things. People can go sign up. We're ready. We're ready to have you all here. So you can sign up at tucsonjcc.org. Sam will be here on August 10th, with Dominique, and they're going to coach you up, but they're also going to have a lot of fun, with the folks that are here. And, at this point, we're now getting 4-year alum, coming to the program. It's
I
like,
know. Oh gosh. Making me feel old.
no, you're making people feel inspired. And, the people that had the ability, to watch you play when you were here, and to feel that excitement. And I really love seeing, McHale getting filled up more and more for women's basketball, and the growth of the WNBA, which I know you had, the pleasure to play in, up in Phoenix for a year or so. It really is an exciting time for women's sports, and it starts with the youth.
It does. It does. The youth is very important, and they are going to hopefully carry all of it on and help women's basketball grow, sports in general. So I'm super excited to say I had a little bit of piece of it.
You are absolutely part of the history. As we wrap up, what advice would you have to a young person who's looking to get involved in sports or starting to show some aptitude, to maybe be a little bit more of the elite level or just the recreational level?
Yeah, I would definitely say, well, for one, just go do it. Go do that camp. Go to that workout. Go to that park that has the ball. A lot of the times it's you're just playing the mental game with yourself of should I go? Should I not go? What if I'm the best one? What if I'm not? Like just do it because the what's the worst that could happen? You're gonna get experience and you're gonna get better. So I would say that's the one thing. But also have fun. Sports is meant to be fun. And I know there's a lot of pressure and the pressure just continues to grow as you get older, but never lose sight that it's your passion, it's what you love, and it's supposed to be fun. So that would be the main.
It's also an incredible, stress relief. I know, again, I was not a great basketball player, but we had a basket in my front yard on the driveway, and when I was stressed, I would just like go get a ball and go outside and shoot for a while and sort of recenter myself. And
Exactly.
there's value in that.
Yes, that's one of the great things about sports is all you need is the ball and you can pretty much play any sport that you need to.
So we've been talking a lot about the Sam Thomas Hoop Group on August 10th, and again, people can sign up at tucsonjcc.org. And beyond that, we hope that people will get that bug and join one of our youth basketball programs in the fall. We have a great youth basketball league here at the J, and we'll be promoting it, at the Hoop Group because we want people to play basketball more than one day a year. And if people decide that they want to do basketball and something else, we have a lot of different options from swimming to tennis, to basketball and other things. You should experiment. Find the sport that's your passion, but start with the Hoop Group on August 10th.
Yes, that is right. Sign up. We're gonna have a lot of fun this time.
Sam, I really appreciate your spending this time. I look forward to your time back in Tucson and Look forward to seeing you on the 10th, and appreciate all that you have done for this community, and for basketball. You're really an incredible role model, and I wish you nothing but success moving forward.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you too.
Have a great day. And again, this was another episode of Total Wellness at the J. I would look forward to seeing y'all at the Sam Thomas Hoop Group on August 10th.
At the Tucson J, everyone belongs and some people join. For more information about our work, go to tucsonjcc.org.